Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent black people. I was just reading this article in the Wall Street Journal about Valentine's Day scams, and I thought I wanted to share this with you guys. With Valentine's Day being here, today is Valentine's Day. First of all, I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. So, happy Valentine's Day to everybody listening. And I hope you'll take a second to type in the chat, Happy Valentine's Day to everybody who is a little bit sad, lonely for the people that don't have a Valentine. I hope that you'll accept me and Alicia as your Valentines for today. We love you, and I just want you to know that my heart is with you. If Valentine's Day is not a happy day for you, and those of you who are celebrating, I'm happy for you as well, of course. But I want to make sure we share love with everybody out here. But anyway, I wanted to read this article to help you be a little bit smarter and more careful about some of the things that are happening in the world and making sure that you stay good and protected. I was reading this article in the Wall Street Journal where they were basically saying that Valentine's Day scams are really a big deal, that there are predators out here that take advantage of people's emotional state. They know that there are a lot of lonely people out here. There are a lot of people out here that will believe anything, because they are so emotionally vulnerable. And I would say, the stereotype is that it's mostly women that fall for the scams, but actually a lot of men do. There are a lot of men out here that are looking for love, whether you believe it or not. Every man ain't looking for the fast action. Some men are looking for something meaningful and sustainable. And so what they said is that with the pandemic occurring, that the number of scams has really gone up, up, up. That basically Valentine's Day isn't just the only catalyst, but just generally the pandemic with people having a tough time financially. It's also with online dating. Online dating allows people to hide behind a persona, hide behind an avatar. You don't actually have to show yourself that you are a real human being, and people are getting screwed financially over this. So I'm gonna read some of this to you. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. All right. So and let me know. Give me a yes in the chat. Let me know you can still hear me. This article's in Wall Street Journal today, and it says, "My phony Valentine: COVID fueled romance scams. The pandemic has created fertile soil for fraudsters to swindle the unsuspecting." Regulators say. Love is a mystery. In the age of COVID, it's increasingly a fraud. Romance scams in which fraudsters pretend to be a love interest to bilk unassuming partners have surged during the pandemic, compliance officers and regulators say. The scenario is putting some companies on high alert for suspicious financial transactions. About 32,800 romance scams were reported last year, up nearly 31% from 2019, according to the Federal Trade Commission data released last week. Consumers reported losing a record $304 million to scams, an almost 51% increase, the FTC said. Romance scammers often build fake online personas to develop relationships with victims through online dating apps or social media platforms. They keep their distance, though, making excuses about why they can't meet in person. Sometimes it is a phony military deployment, other times, a made up assignment on an offshore rig, said Monica Vecca, an associate director at the FTC. As a virtual relationship strengthens, scammers make requests for money, often disappearing once the cash is in hand. Let me tell you a little story. I had a friend who was dating a woman that she or that he met. I guess the lady lived in Africa, and somebody had sent him some pictures and stuff like that. And I said, man, I think you're being scammed. I said, you might want to be careful. And he kept talking about how great the woman was and how great their conversations were, and and that she's a professional and has her own money and everything else. And I remember just saying to him, I said, "Have you ever seen her in person?" He said, "No, we haven't had a chance to meet yet, but we're gonna meet one day." And I said, okay, well, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I said, but if she asks you for money at any point, then that's a red flag. Just know that at some point, I suspect she's gonna ask you for money, and something's gonna come up. And lo and behold, she did ask for money. She said that she was having some financial problems, and or in that she was gonna, use the money to fly over to see him or whatever. And next thing you know, and so thank God he was smart enough to walk away from that. But this happens a lot. And the other interesting thing is that sometimes scammers don't even use the internet. I mean, digital technology allows you to sneak and scam people, but I know people who've been scammed romantically without even using the computer. I had a friend who this happens to a lot of you black women that are, professional and single. There are millions of single, professional, highly educated black women who are making lots of money. So I can just tell you, and you probably know this, but in case you don't know, now you know. But those black women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that are doing really well, making a lot of money, there are men out here that literally will go sling penis in order to get paid. No different from the way you have women that might do that to a man. You have men that will do that to women. And I had a friend who's a professional. She makes about $250,000 a year, and she lives in this really gigantic house, and she's doing extremely well. And she met this guy, and he was a really handsome man who said all the right things and led her to believe that he was her Prince Charming. Now, the funny thing was that she tends to like those men that are really, really, really like top notch, and wants to believe every man is going to be the man of her dreams and all that. So I was kind of joking with her about that, but anyway, she met this guy and she's going through her credit card receipts, and she saw that there were some shoes, expensive shoes that had been bought that were not her size. So she went on she became a private detective. Y'all know how ladies can do when when they think something's going on. So she went to the store and talked to the clerk and said, "Okay, here are the shoes. They cost $600. You probably remember selling them. Do you remember who bought them?" And the person was probably black. And she described the guy, and she was like, "Yeah, that's him." And but she couldn't file a police report because she left and came back with the police, and the lady refused to talk to the police. But long story short, this kind of thing happens a lot. And I think also when you talk about online dating, I assume most of you know that you have to meet the person in person, right? There absolutely must be an in person meeting because it's too easy for people to get fished and scammed. I mean, somebody could grab the picture of a supermodel and put it up in their in their profile, and people will be falling in love on social media with somebody that does not exist. And that's kind of devastating, I imagine, to really plan a future in your head with somebody and find out that's not even a real person. So just, kind of be smart about that, and take your time. And also remember this too. What I find is that when people know that you're emotional, that's when people kind of play you. Politicians, for example, politicians, if they know that you're in love with them, like if they know that you just love them to death and believe anything they say, then they will use that to their advantage. They'll use that to get your vote and give you nothing back in exchange for your vote. Like some of y'all fall in love with certain politicians and things like that happen. Or corporations actually sell products by getting the consumer to be illogically and emotionally attached to the product. They care more about that than they care about actually having a quality product sometimes, because they know that when people are emotional, they're not rational. When they're emotional, they're not logical. When they're emotional, they don't do all their homework. So, when it comes to something as serious as love, the thing about love that's really challenging is that it's an emotional process, but it has very, very real implications on your the other parts of your life when it comes to not just things like your health, physical and mental, but also if you're trying to build business and trying to do well economically. If you can't handle your romantic relationships, then all your economic situations will probably fall apart because you'll get married and somebody will take half your money, and then you'll find out they never loved you anyway. They just want to half your money. Or you'll get mad because you had to give all your money away to lawyers in divorce court because you trusted a big button to smile. So I would just encourage you to make sure that you take the time to kind of step back and make sure that that your emotional vulnerabilities are not causing you to make illogical decisions economically, because it happens all the time. I've known people, I know guys that have gotten murdered because they would trust any big button to smile. They meet some girl in a strip club, and they don't know that that girl was sent to them by a rival gang member who said, okay, I want you to get him drinking a little bit, get him naked, in the hotel room, and then we're gonna come in there, we're gonna rob him and kill him. Right? Like these are things that really happen in the world. Cardi B actually did you a favor by expressing that game to you, letting you know how that game is real, because she ran that game on people. Not the murder part, but the whole tranny and stealing your money and all that stuff. You just go look it up. She actually did set all this on Instagram. So just be careful. And if your heart's a little bit empty, you have a hole in it. I know that I hope that hole gets filled for you, And also start with self-love. Self-love is extremely important. And I think that loving yourself makes you more lovable to other people. But also, you got to give love to receive love. So you can't love yourself so much that you're not capable of expressing love to other people, because nobody likes a selfish bastard anyway. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys have a good day. You can subscribe to the Black Love channel. Actually, that's where Alicia and I do a lot of our commentary and conversation. She's actually a relationship therapist, licensed, like she's a full professor of social work. So she's really into this. Like, this is her thing. This is what she's skilled at. So feel free to subscribe to the Black Love channel if you like healthy relationship conversations. We don't get into silly stuff. We actually get into stuff that's for more mature people. So have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Be good.